Hello everyone, welcome back. This episode here, I got a chart analysis for you, and it's just a straight chart analysis. I don't have any particular news or anything. Don't quite know why the drastic sell-off, but just looking at a technical analysis of what's going on. As you can see right there, this is on Bitfin, and you can see the prices from the three major or there's four exchanges here, and you can see the price has gone down. Now I've showed you in the past, and I'm not sure in my last video if it was cut off or not, but in any case, I talked a lot about arbitrage and other things, and I'll try to go over some of it with you again here. But mostly this is going to be a chart analysis, and so I've shown this downward triangle, this one in particular, this big one right here, and then here. But as you see that I made another one here for possible another triangle coming in, and it looked like it would, and my fear was that if it broke down below it, it would be a drastic sell, and although this is on a 12-hour, it doesn't look like a drastic sell. It just looks like a regular, it doesn't look too bad, But if you go onto an hourly, and I'll try to go into an hourly here, this is kind of what it looks like, and that's pretty drastic. And so, yeah, it's quite a bit, and you can see it's a one, two. Let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40, a $40 sell-off from this supposed right here support line. Not too bad, but if you had like 100 Bitcoins, that's $4,000 loss. But again, if you're all used to it by now, you're probably seeing $10,000 gains, with 100 Bitcoins. So anyways, the chart analysis here that I'm trying to look at is why did it go down, and you notice I have a RSI indicator here, and I mentioned that before. Now the drawback of an RSI indicator is that it doesn't really show price movement, it just shows, in my opinion, price momentum. And if you see here, some people like to draw lines, and when they draw lines, they think of it as a price, like drawing lines on a price chart. Well, on an indicator like an RSI, it's not necessarily always the case. Like if you drew a line here and you saw that it was breaking out, you would have tried to buy here thinking that it might go up. But often, and I've learned this the hard way through many forex trading, stock trading, that the RSI doesn't always mean that it's going to move up. It's just the momentum of the price. And well, I've seen this in many cases where it would break a trend line, but the price doesn't break a trend line. It's just a little misleading, because it looked like it's going to go up here, and it goes sideways here, but yet the price goes down, and then it just slams back down to like a 30 right here, and 50, 70. So these are like two lines indicating the momentum of the price action, momentum going down. And the closer it is to 30, the momentum of the price action is headed downwards, and then if it's 70, it's headed upwards. So, and that's the danger of using an RSI, in my opinion, is that you look at it and you see it hit the bottom here, and you're thinking, well, it hit bottom, it's gonna, the price is gonna go up, and it does, but it doesn't go up like you think. You can see it's moving sideways, but yet this overall general price is moving downwards, and then you see the big crash here, and that's the drawback of an RSI. That's why I don't really look at it. I do look at it from time to time, only to see or get a better gauge, because all my other signals aren't very apparent, and so I just want to get another analysis of it. So that's the problem with using an RSI. And then I'll go to a MACD, as I mentioned MACD as well, and I don't use MACD that often either for the same reason. As you can kind of see, it looks like the price is bottomed out here, and it looks like it's about to go up. And you're looking at the past, you see this going up, this going down, this is going up. So you're following this, and you're thinking the same thing here, that's going to hit up. Well, lo and behold, that's not the case. So it's more of an indication of a price momentum, not price action, not a direction towards price direction. Most of the time, and you see it's a little bit green. It looked like it would be bringing it up, and then bam, it's going to probably head downwards. And so, of course, this is on a daily. On 12 hour, let's see what it looked like. 12 hour. So again, on a 12 hour, it did look like it was going to go up, but to everyone's surprise, no, it did not. And that's kind of the danger of using these indicators, in my opinion. So that's why I don't use them too often. I prefer using lines and averages, and just from seeing what it's been doing, and I use other methods as well. Like I said, follow the highest high and just follow it down until the price actually reaches above the highest high, the last two. For example, let's say this is the highest high, 1, 2. Well, I wouldn't buy anything until it broke above this for at least 2 highs, and then 2 highs later, I'd bring my buying opportunity, or I'd look out for buying if it was able to break from this high, and I would count 1, 2, or 1, 2, or something like that. And then I would move it there, and I'd look for another opportunity around this price range, and I go 1, 2, and then if nothing broke up, I'd bring it down here, 1, and then 2, and there's nothing here. Of course, my count would have been wrong, but if I waited just a little bit longer, of course, this is hindsight. This could be considered 2 really right here, not this, but wait until everything finishes. It's harder on a 12-hour. I know people like to be impatient, but patience is really key. So let's say 1, 2, and nothing broke above this high. I bring it down here, and 1, 2. Of course, nothing broke above this high, and definitely nothing's going to break above this high now, not for a while. So that's what I do. That's one way, and I think that's probably the easiest way. You miss out on some of the bottom pricing, like if it all of a sudden bottomed out here and then zoomed up, you missed out on like $40, $50 here. But again, you won't fall into the trap of trying to buy in, picking bottoms, and then having it drop out where you're not going to you're not going to be gaining anything that way. And so that's what I've been doing really, is I've been following these highs, and I just been following down until they actually break above the last high. I'm not really looking for anything to buy. I'm just like being very patient, wait and see. Now that's just for my general trading. As far as arbitrage, and I know I talked about this last episode. I don't know if you're able to see it because the video was cut off. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing or people don't want me to tell you about it. I don't know. I saw the video and it looked like it was cut off from what I wanted to say, so I'll go over it briefly again. So I've been already gaining Bitcoins, and I have Bitcoins, and so one of the things that I've been doing is, as the price has been going down, although I can't keep up with my Bitcoin gains as the price are going down like this, I can't keep up as I do perform arbitrage. Well, what I can do is I'm just slowly taking the losses, but I'm offsetting some of those losses through arbitrage by gaining more Bitcoins, if that makes sense. So for example, let's say I start off with 1 Bitcoin, and I'm fractionally, because you could fractionalize, well, let's say 10. Let's say 10 Bitcoins, because some exchanges don't allow you to do very small fractional amounts of Bitcoin. So let's say you have 10 Bitcoins, and let's say you have a total of 10, and you have really you need Bitcoins on 2 different exchanges. So let's say you have 5 on one and 5 on the other, right? And let's just pick an example here. Okay, let's say Bitstamp and BitC. For whatever reason, you have some BitC. Basically, you bought some and then you bought some from a miner and you put 5 Bitcoins on Bitstamp and 5 Bitcoins on BitC, right? Um, and let's just say you paid, Bitstamp price. Well, what you would do is you would wait until BitC pairs up with Bitstamp price. And let's say and the other thing is you have to have money in these exchanges as well. So so you have to have money and Bitcoin in these exchanges. So you just can't have all Bitcoin or all money because you won't be able to trade anything based on an up and down, however you want to do it, whether you're shorting or you're going long. So basically, let's say, and at one point it did pair up. They all actually at one point, as the price was going down here, all of these paired up at one point. Even the Chinese exchange, they all paired up right around the same price. So what some people could have done is, as they were being paired up, depending on which exchange are typically lower. I know BitC has always been typically lower. What you could have done is you could have sold or gone short, sold off your position in BitC, but at the same time you bought into your position into Bitstamp. So for example, you have 5 Bitcoins, 5 Bitcoins. You sell off 5 Bitcoins here, you buy 5 Bitcoins here. And so that's how you would do it. And then when the price is stabilized and then BitC's lower, so let's see how much lower it is. It's about $4 lower. Um, what I usually do, that's right now, but when this price was dropping like crazy, what I saw was BitC was higher than these exchanges, and what I was doing was I was selling into BitC at a higher price, and then when it finally caught up and BitC started falling like crazy, BitC was really the lowest price, and then let's say Bitstamp was higher. Well, now I'm buying back in. And I got more Bitcoins because obviously the price is lower, and BitC is only the highest price when the prices are falling anyway. And so then by the time I finished buying back my Bitcoins at a lower price and basically selling off here into the higher price, I did one of two things. I made a fiat gain, and then on this exchange I made a Bitcoin gain. So it's a 2-for-1 kind of process where you're making money fiat-wise, and then you're also making money, or I wouldn't say making money, but you're making a gain fiat-wise, and then you're making a gain Bitcoin-wise. So it's a two-prong approach, and it really kind of sucks, but the spreads between all these exchanges really happen in two situations, where prices are dramatically increasing or prices are dramatically falling. And like I said, in order to really do arbitrage, you have to risk your Bitcoins or money, whatever the situation. Usually it's Bitcoins. Bitcoins are floating in price, but if you already started investing and already trading and everything, and you have a certain amount of gains, I've excuse me, I pretty much converted some of those gains into just Bitcoin, so I can do arbitrage, so I can use Bitcoin, so I can start doing a lot more things other than just buying and selling Bitcoin. I'm still buying and selling, but I can actually use it as a payment instrument. I can use it to leverage my trades without margining my trades or having a margining account. I mean, there's so much things you can do. It all depends how creative you want to be. And the only way you can really learn how to, I would compare it, if you all ever seen some of my Harbor Freight videos, they're very cheap tools, right? Some people call them crap, but yet I've done some amazing things with crappy tools. If you ever seen any of my gun episodes where I go to the range, um, the cheapest gun I owned was my very first gun that I ever owned was a revolver. It's called a Rossi revolver, and those are considered cheap, right? But yet I think I shoot pretty good with it. But my point is, it's not really, the tool that you use or the what kind of financial instrument you use. It's the person who uses that tool or that financial instrument or that weapon, right? A weapon is just a weapon. A hammer is just a hammer. But yet, you put it into the right hands, someone can build the most beautiful house I've ever seen, or build a shack. So, my point is, it's how you use your tools, your financial instruments, your weapons, that makes you different from other people. And how well you use it is how well, how often you use it, and how much practice makes perfect, right? So for me, it's about using Bitcoin, and through the use of Bitcoin, I've become very familiar with how to take advantage of uh, of its benefits. And I think for people who are just getting into this, they may get very disappointed, very upset, or or just don't understand what's going on. Um, Excuse me one moment. Let me cut out here. Sorry about that. Um, just had a little cold here, and had to take care of that. Anyways, I forgot. Kind of forgot what I was talking about. But anyways, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's the use of Bitcoin is what allows me to discover how to take advantage of these benefits. Um, if you don't use it, you tend not to understand or discover new ways and how this can give you an advantage. Um, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. You really have to start using it and understanding it, and by using it, you'll start to develop many ways to take advantage of the benefits of using Bitcoin. So I mentioned arbitrage, I mentioned payment instruments, I mentioned merchant processing for yourself. Um, I mean, it does quite a bit of everything, and Bitcoin has become the engine of everything that I do and what I will be doing. Even though the price goes down, I still make the gains in Bitcoin. And although I can't keep up with the decreasing price, it is offset a little bit by the Bitcoin gains that I make. And I know it sounds a little. Excuse me. One moment, okay, sorry about that. Cut that off. Anyways, but the reason I'm doing that, I'm keeping my gains in Bitcoin, is because I guess you could say I'm a little counterintuitive in a lot of things I do. While most people are running away, I'm running towards. While most people are running towards, I'll run away. And people think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I'm not crazy at all. Actually, I have some idea of what I'm doing here. Let me get that. Okay. I have some idea of what I'm doing here, and for people who may, for some of those who have traded with me or do know me, or if you've been watching my videos, you're kind of scratching your head, or you're wondering what the hell is going on. Um, of course, it doesn't make any sense, and that's the whole point. It's not, you're not supposed to understand what I'm doing. um, because it's my trade secret. Of course, um, I don't know how much of a trade secret it is. It's hard to believe, but for those who know, um, it's really up to you, up to each and every individual to come to their own decisions on what is Bitcoin, and what does it mean to have a Bitcoin, and do you believe it or not? So, for those who don't believe, well, it won't do anything. For those who do, I'm hoping that not only do you believe in it, but you're also practicing its use and understanding, the secrets that it can reveal to you. And then I think there's nothing more enlightening than to get the experience um, of actually doing something and going through. I guess you could say it's going through a journey in which that journey and process uh, takes over you. Um, I feel like a lot of times, like, I've only been doing this for a short time, since November of last year, but uh, I have to say that my shell of a life that I used to live no longer exists. And the life I live now, I really don't even know who I am anymore. It's almost like as if my body was literally a shell, and whatever was um, in possession of that shell of a body is now gone, and something else has taken possession of it. Even though I still have all my memories, I still have, um, you know, I still live in the same place and everything. My name is still my name. Um, I look the same for the most part, but obviously something's very, very different. And I could tell you, I'm definitely not the same person that I was a year ago. And literally, it's almost like something else has entered into my body here. And although I still have the memories and everything, I'm really not the same person. And that's kind of what Bitcoin did for me. I don't know if it'll do that for you. So, um, don't expect great things to happen once you start using Bitcoin. But I think after you start using it, and practice makes perfect, you'll start understanding how to wield that power, if that makes sense. Anyways, excuse me. So let me finish up on this chart analysis. Um, Looks like if I pull out to a day, let me go out to a day, or maybe even more. There we go. 3 weeks or 3 day. You'll see it's still going to be continuing on this trend line here as a support, and it looks like it's been 1, 2, 3. It's broken down through it. This is on Bitfin, but you'll see this on Bitstamp. You also see this on Bitsy and the Chinese exchange as well, and probably some other exchanges. You'll probably see the same thing, where this is really the support here, and it's sloping down. And that's concerned, because even though it's not really concerned, it's just that it's when it goes sideways, it's going sideways, sloping down, and so the price will gradually go down. And I was hoping maybe something here, but guess not. It's broken down here, as you see clearly. It will probably most likely continue to go down and test this. So look for something around the 200, which we're not too far off there. I mean, we're at 281. Or it could just go sideways because it just hit the bottom here, and it's just wiggling sideways, and it could just wiggle up again and down, and just wiggle its way until it gets pressured to the date that I was mentioning before. And this is probably something that everybody wants to take a note of here is right there. You go. That's the date right here, everyone. Which is um, January, February, March, somewhere around March. And so that's when it's really going to be squeezed in here, and it's either going to break down further, or it's going to have an opportunity somewhere between here and that point in time. You're going to see it break out or break down further. So it depends on what's going to happen. For me, it's worth the risk of keeping my gains in Bitcoin, because long term, again, I'm really thinking long term now. I've already made my short term gains, and you know, nothing's really changed for me in that regard. Now I'm thinking really long term. Like, I guess 2 to 3 years is long term in Bitcoin. So 2 to 3 year long term, I really do anticipate for the price to go back up in value, or the value of Bitcoin to go up, I should say. And you know, during that time, I will continue to keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, if everything works out right, you know, I don't see why anyone couldn't still use Bitcoin. I'm learning so much as I keep using. You know, it gets so strange how things are in this world, and it gets stranger and stranger, and I don't even know what's real. You know, it's so bizarre. You know, the world you think you used to live in, and then when you realize the world that you are in, you know, you get to, once you really understand the game, and you realize you're in a game, and now you can start playing the game, and playing the game on your terms and your rules. You can even create your own game once you realize that this is the game, and it's for you to play with. I guess that's the best way I can say it. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep this episode short. That was my chart analysis. If it's a long-term chart analysis, it's not a short-term chart analysis. This is what I'm looking at. Feel free to comment, like, dislike, even do your own video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye now.